What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch back here with a 2020 NFL record prediction. In this video, I'm going to break down the schedule game by game and give you my game by game predictions for the Miami Dolphins and their 2020 schedule. I've already given you every team's record in a previous video, but I want to go through every team's schedule individually and give you the thoughts and the process behind the game-by-game picks for the 2020 schedule. So this is the Miami Dolphins game-by-game predictions. Before I do give you my record prediction for the Miami Dolphins, a very intriguing team in 2020, make sure that you do spike the like button, subscribe to the Bottom Line View for more NFL videos just like this. And of course, comment your opinion below. Let me know what you think the Dolphins' record will be in 2020. So we're here, and I'm going to predict game by game what I believe the Dolphins' record will be in 2020. So let's start off. Week number 1, the Dolphins take on, of course, their rival, the New England Patriots. Brian Flores versus the Patriots. New England will want their revenge for that Week 17 loss, which really cost them a bye last postseason. I think this is a good game, but typically when you look back at the Patriots versus the Dolphins, the Patriots have dominated this rivalry in New England, except for that Week 17 game. I am going to go with the Patriots and get their first victory with Jarrett Stidham at quarterback. I think their defense is going to be very tough Week 1, especially early in that season. And I think Belichick's going to come out really firing. I think he's one of the coaches that's prepared for a shortened offseason, and he's just such an amazing coach. So I have Belichick over Flores in week number 1. In week number 2, we have another AFC East showdown. It's the Bills on the road taking on the Dolphins. Now, this one's interesting because the Bills are a team that are very cold climate. So you're going to Miami early in September. That's not good. And I think the Bills are going to be a great team. I think the Bills have a great defense, a great coach, and an up-and-coming offense. But Miami in September is very difficult to beat at home. I think the Dolphins find a way to pull this off, and they're one of the few teams that can handle all the receivers of the Bills due to their corner play. So I'm going to go with Miami in week 2. Then you have a Florida matchup, so you stay within Florida in week number 3, Miami at Jacksonville. I think Miami is just the superior team here, even on the road. I think that they have the better coach. They'll be better prepared. And I think Minshew versus this secondary and the complex blitz schemes of Brian Flores is not a good matchup. So I'm going to go with the Dolphins. In week 4, Seattle travels all the way across the country to take on Miami. I think this is certainly a game where either team could win. I think Seattle is a team that most have in the playoffs, and they're always great. But I think this game will be super close. Dolphins may even pull off an upset in this game, but I just think I'm going to lean towards a last-second drive from Russell Wilson to put them in position to win this game. So I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks. So at this point, 2-2, not bad after the first quarter of the season. Week number 5, you have the Dolphins traveling across the country after Seattle traveled to them to San Francisco. This is not a good matchup because I believe that San Francisco will be able to run the football, dictate pace at home, and their defensive line is just going to overwhelm Miami's offensive line. So I have San Francisco winning in week 5. Then you have Miami at Denver. This is a really tough one. I think Denver is just really good at home. Mile High is a difficult place to play. I think they're really talented this year. They have a solid coaching staff, and I think Drew Lock might be the real deal along with this really epic defense. Again, you play San Francisco, and then you play Von Miller and Chubb off the edge. That's not a good matchup for Miami, so I'm going Denver here. They dropped 2 games in a row. Then it's week 7. The Chargers go to Miami. This one's interesting because I think both teams are relatively similar in terms of they're very good in the secondary. They have really good defenses, promising defenses, but their offenses are a little sketchy on both sides. I think this is one where the Chargers, because they're traveling across the country, I don't know who the Chargers quarterback is going to be here, whether it's going to be Herbert or it's going to be Tyrod Taylor in week 7. It definitely could change. I'm going to go with Miami just because I feel like at home in Miami, when the team is that they're playing is traveling across the country. It probably will be a low-scoring affair, but I'm going to go with the Dolphins here. Week 8, you have the LA Rams going to Miami. This is another cross-country game for another visiting team. This one's tough. Can they beat 2 LA teams in a row? Now, this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that because Brian Flores was such a big part of the Patriots defeating Sean McVay in that Super Bowl, he was the defensive coordinator and really shut down McVay's offense. I actually think Miami can win this game for sure. The only way that they would lose this game is if Aaron Donald just terrorizes the Dolphins' offensive line and their quarterback. But I think I'm going to lean with Miami here because of the Brian Flores factor. Week number 9, I'm going with the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals are just the better team, and Kyler Murray is going to make some magic in Arizona. They have too many weapons, I think, even with the corners that Miami has. It's just a lot of guys to cover. You have to deal with the spread offense and the running game from that. And then also on the defensive side of the ball, they have playmakers like Chandler Jones. So I'm going to go with the Cardinals there. Then week 10, you have the Jets and the Dolphins. I think the Jets and Dolphins most likely split. So I'm going to go, they play again in week 12 after the bye week. So I'm going to go Jets win at home, and I'm going to go Miami wins at home as a split between the Jets and the Dolphins. I think they're pretty similar teams. I think the Jets better versus the run, Miami better in the passing game. It depends on Darnold's development for the Jets. I don't know how good he's going to be in year number 3 for him. If he really steps his game up, though, the Jets could be a better team than we expect. Week 13, Cincinnati at Miami. These two teams were at the bottom of the AFC last year. This is Cincinnati, who has a lot of weapons. I think this is actually a fascinating matchup. And last year, they had a really good game at the end of last year when nobody cared. But Miami is going to win this game at home. Again, Brian Flores versus a rookie quarterback is just too much to me. Week 14, I'm going with the Chiefs. Sorry, Dolphins fans, but it's Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs and the Super Bowl champs. Week 15, you play New England in Miami, and as a Patriots fan, I know that Miami wins that game all the time, and I think it would be the same. It's going to be tough for Jarrett Stidham to go there for the first time ever and start a game and win, so I just don't think New England has enough weapons to go on the road versus a really good defense and try and win that. Week 16, Miami in Vegas. This one's interesting. I think these two teams, I could see it go both ways. I think I'm leaning the Raiders because I think the Raiders are a pretty decent team. People are sleeping on them. I also think that they have a really good rushing attack and offensive line, and their ability to control the clock and control the ball, I think, is going to be enough for them to win. Then you have Week 17, Miami to Buffalo. Buffalo lost earlier in the year. They're going to be going to the playoffs, in my opinion. I have the Bills picking up their revenge victory. So that would mean that the Dolphins would end up with a 7-9 record, 3-3 within their division and 6-6 in their conference. They're 6-2 at home, 1-7 on the road, which I think honestly makes sense for a Dolphins team that typically is a lot better at home. And they might have a rookie quarterback starting, so that also plays a factor. Yeah, I think the Dolphins are a decent team this year. I wouldn't expect them to do any better than 8-8 based off the schedule. It's a very difficult schedule. They could even do worse than 7-9. Maybe I'm being a little bit generous here with their record, but I really look at this schedule and I feel like there's a lot of winnable games here due to the circumstances that they're playing a lot of West teams at home where they're having to travel to Miami. If they can pick up those victories in the first month in September versus Buffalo and maybe even versus Seattle, then they'll be in a very good spot. And if they're somehow able to beat a team like New England in September, or maybe pull an upset of a Buffalo or of San Francisco or Arizona, then possibly they'd be in position for a playoff spot. But I think 7-9 is about right. I think they could land anywhere from 5-11 to 9-7 this season. I think 7-9 is what I'm going with. So hope you guys enjoyed the Miami Dolphins record prediction and schedule breakdown for the 2020 NFL season. If you did, again, Gronk spike the like button, subscribe to the channel for more NFL. It's been Mitch, the Bottom Line View. Peace.